The last time anyone at the Sunday Times had heard from David Holden was 3 days before. On Saturday, the 3rd of December, 1977, he sent a report from Amman, Jordan's capital, about prospects for peace in the Middle East. He had been dispatched to the region ahead of a 9-day conference in Cairo, organized by the Egyptian President Anwar Sadat. Journalism is said to provide the first draft of history, and it was already clear that this was an epochal moment, signalling the first rapprochement between Israel and its embattled Arab neighbors since Israel's fire and brimstone birth 29 years before. In mid-November, Sadat had made a historic 3-day visit to the country, the first ever by an Arab leader implicitly recognizing its right to exist. The geopolitical forces swirling around these events were immense, so it was appropriate for the Sunday Times to send its chief foreign correspondent to the Middle East. Holden had spent a busy week researching his story, visiting Damascus and Amman, where he met political leaders and diplomats and attended press conferences given by President Assad of Syria and King Hussein of Jordan. He started writing his report at the Reuters news agency office in Amman on the evening of the 2nd of December, returning the next morning to complete it and transmit it to the newspaper. Some 2,000 words long, it was an accomplished and cautiously optimistic review of how the region was responding to the talks between Sadat and Israel's Prime Minister Menachem Begin. Holden's piece was allocated to the top of page 10 of the 4th of December issue under the headline, "Peace May Break Out After All." In an accompanying message to the newspaper's foreign desk on Saturday the 3rd of December, Holden had outlined his travel plans. On Sunday, he would travel to the occupied Palestinian West Bank and then Israel, crossing from Jordan via the LNB Bridge. Holden would spend 2 nights in Jerusalem and then, on the 6th of December, would return across the LNB Bridge into Jordan in time to catch the evening flight from Amman to Cairo. At first, his editors were not unduly concerned at having no word from Holden. Journalists on overseas trips were expected to stay in contact with the foreign desk, both to enable the newspaper to plan the week's edition and to monitor their movements and check on their safety. The correspondents often found this a time-consuming distraction, given the difficulties they faced in communicating with their London office. They had 2 main methods of doing so. One was by telex, which meant typing a message on their portable manual typewriter and asking a hotel to transmit it, usually handing it to the telex operator with a financial sweetener to ensure it went to the top of the pile of messages waiting to be keyed. The other was to book a telephone call at the hotel, which could take hours to be placed. So Holden's silence was not considered troubling, at least for the time being. His plans were, however, an important item at the scheduled news conference on Wednesday morning. The meetings were led by the editor, Harold Evans. By then, Evans had been in post for 10 years, building the newspaper's reputation for independent journalism with a succession of dramatic investigations and revelations, which included exposing the MI6 KGB double agent Harold Kim Philby and the fight to establish the truth about the pregnancy drug thalidomide, which caused severe birth defects, and to obtain compensation for its victims.